Hi, welcome to Adventures and Things. I'm Michael Wright, and today I want to talk to you about the pros and cons of traveling to Costa Rica and why you might want to think twice about going.
Walking and talking, hiker that sings. I'm Michael Wright. This is Adventures and Things.
Sorry about that cunning ruse, but if you are planning on going to Costa Rica, 100% go. And my intent of this video is not to get you to not go to Costa Rica. I really think that you should go. Travel is 100% subjective. My intent with this video is just to give you kind of an idea of what's going on in Costa Rica, what happened to me. Obviously it's subjective, but to give you an idea of planning your trip. And if you're anything like me and you don't like planning trips, I highly suggest that you plan your trip through Costa Rica, which brings me to con number one. And that is it's very expensive to travel there. From accommodation to travel to food, it is very pricey. Hotels run anywhere from about $25 to $500. Hostels are $15 to like $100, and Airbnbs are kind of somewhere in between. And you kind of get what you pay for. For the $15 hostel, I went into my bed and the last traveler socks were still in the bed, and that was kind of gross. The $25 hotel was a straight up roach motel. I trapped 2 roaches in the bathroom under the garbage can. It was gross. Once again, get what you pay for. The food is really expensive. If you want to go to a restaurant, you're looking at paying anywhere from like $10 up to probably $25 for a plate of food. Street food, you're looking at like $3 to $5, but it's not that good. Buy food in the supermercados or mini supers. It's pretty expensive. Fruits and vegetables there are expensive. Meats and cheeses and things like that are really expensive there as well. So you're not going to save a lot of money that way. Travel, you can do travel a little bit cheaper. If you want to rent a car, it looks like it's going to be cheap until you get the insurance, and then it's not cheap at all. If you get used to the chicken buses or taking the local buses, then it's a very cheap way to travel. If you can do that, by all means do it. You can travel cheaply that way. I took Tika bus and it was pretty expensive. It was like to go from Liberia to Nicaragua, it was about $70 for that trip, and it was like $100 to go basically across the country, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're traveling, you're backpacking, it's quite a bit of money. One of my favorite things about the place was the landscape. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, when I say it's a second world country, you know, you tend to think of like really dirty places. Now, the big city centers were kind of dirty. They were like not as clean as other places, but it's such a beautiful place that you don't even really notice that even when you're there. Like the Pacific coast of Costa Rica and the Caribbean coast are stunningly gorgeous. The black, white, brown sands in Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean side were gorgeous. You can walk along the beach and into the jungle and then back out on the beach and then up on this cliff overlooking the Caribbean Sea. It was amazing. I loved that. The Pacific side, absolutely awesome. The best sunsets I've ever seen in my life. There are these pink and purple, beautiful, amazing sunsets. They're these Instagram bangers. I'm not cool enough to say stuff like that, but it's beautiful sunsets. Well worth it. Like I would almost go back just for those sunsets. And then the interior of Costa Rica and the jungles and rainforests. Oh man, I absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous. Going to La Fortuna, Monteverde, the waterfalls, the hot springs, the mountains, the volcanoes. It was incredible. I absolutely loved the interior, but the hot springs and the waterfalls and everything around there is well worth it. And that leads me into pro number 2 is the wildlife. Love the wildlife there. Costa Rica is known throughout Central America for having the best wildlife, and it's true. There's like sloths, there's howler monkeys, white-faced monkeys. I wish I got to see a sloth, but they were too fast for a fat guy like me. Now, jaguars and stuff there too, I didn't get to see those. Luckily enough, I didn't get to see those. The marine life I thought was amazing. A lot of people say that the marine life isn't as good in Costa Rica, but I'm not that experienced in that department, but I thought it was amazing. Watching my friend catch a big rooster fish was like super cool. So this next con could be like a pro and a con, but I think it goes more on the con side, and it kind of pains me to say it just because I have 2 friends there, but the people. Having said that, I could probably split the country right in half and say anywhere from San Jose over to the Caribbean, I was not treated very well. I just found they weren't very welcoming, weren't very open and honest. They just saw you as like another gringo, like you have a lot of money, and when they realize that you're just a poor gringo, they don't really care. The Pacific side, you got a little bit of that. It wasn't quite as bad, but I found it like I found a lot of good people over on the Pacific side. Honestly, that's where my friends live too. One thing that I did find throughout the whole country is with the men, it's very macho. There's a lot of machismo going on. As a 6 foot 220-pound ginger, I'm kind of a target. I've realized this when you know, you go out and some guy bumps and he's like, what you want to go, and like, you know, like threatening you and stuff like that. It's like, come on, man, grow up, literally and figuratively, grow up. Which kind of brings me into my next point about culture. And this to me, I think falls on the con side. It's very lackluster. Now, this could be kind of 50-50, I guess. For me, culture is kind of like, you know, what you do for entertainment, what you do for like food. Costa Rica is just kind of missing on that. Like the food is just completely meh. Like a typical Tico meal is basically just rice, beans, chicken, or eggs, or ceviche, or other fish, or like fried plantains, but there's no flavor to it at all. It was very disappointing in that sense. I thought when I was going to go to the Caribbean side that maybe I'd get like some Caribbean flair in the food, but it was essentially the same thing. It was just kind of the same Tico, meh, bland food. As far as entertainment goes, now, if you are going to Costa Rica, try to find a Costa Rican rodeo. This will blow your mind. It was the coolest experience I've ever had. Check out this video up here. It was absolutely amazing, but you have to go check it out, honestly. To recap it all, I would have to say go check it out. It's a beautiful place. You won't be disappointed. The cons are it's expensive, the machismoism, the people kind of up in the air, so they're not even that bad of cons, really. You can get over them quite easily. And the pros, to me, make it well worth the trip going there. The landscape and the wildlife would be 100% a great reason to go there. Like, so go check it out. If you have any questions about my travels there, anywhere to go, anything to do or see, let me know in the comments below. If you like this or you hate me for saying these things about Costa Rica, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to do one about my trip to Nicaragua and to Panama as well, so stick around for that. Maybe like, subscribe, all that crap, and well, see you later.